own another home, another car. So, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
We're doing well, thank you.
Nice
We're
to
doing
have you
well.
here with us. Thank you.
I think we were a little delayed because we missed a bit. We just got the request, so sorry about if we were late.
Oh no, that's fine. I just sent it now anyway, so okay. That's fine. That's fine. Nice Hangout Cafe. Can you guys give them a warm welcome? Show them some love. So, yes, I want to see the love. Please show them some love. Go on. Go on. Welcome. Dale, I'm meeting you for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice to meet you as well.
I'm sure we probably met before.
Probably.
I'm sure we probably met.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But Kimberley and I have been talking, so it's like,
yeah,
she
mentioned.
I know her for ages. Can you guys see the hugs and the love? Can you see?
Yeah, we can see it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Well, Kay, thank you again for agreeing to do this. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So to get us started, we just want to find out a little bit about you guys, even before you got married. So let's start with Kimberley, because she's the lady, and ladies first. So this is tell us a little bit about Kimberley, growing up in, I don't want to mention it. You tell us.
Yeah, so I'm from Scotland. Lived there majority of my life until we moved to Nigeria. So I'm from the Central Belt, not too far outside Edinburgh is where I'm from, and randomly moved up to Aberdeen. Funnily enough, the same month that he moved to Aberdeen as well, and then a couple of months later we met through a mutual friend, and the rest is history, kind of thing.
Okay. All right, Dale, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I grew up in Lagos. I'm from Lagos. From Isaleko. For those people that know Lagos well, we are the real owners of Lagos. Grew up. Went to did school in Lagos, Abuja, Ogun State. And I went to the UK for my master's. Then I met Kimberley, and like she said, the rest is history.
Okay.
So that's a brief summary of it.
Great story. Okay, that's fine. So now we want to know, how did you guys meet?
Should I?
Yeah, on you go.
Okay. So we actually met through a mutual friend. I think he was already in Aberdeen before I joined, and we were having a chat one day, and he just said, "There's somebody I would like to I want you to meet. I think you guys would hit it off." And I said yes, and so introduced us. And I think the first time she saw me, I think she was smitten. She doesn't want to admit that. My recollection was she was speechless. That was my recollection.
She was speechless.
At the introduction, that was my recollection. So
don't mind him.
Yeah,
he has his own story of how we met, but don't mind him.
Okay, you will tell us your story. So tell us your story.
Yeah, well, we were a friend of ours, AK. AK introduced us.
Yeah.
And we just took it up from there.
Yeah, but he was chasing me though, because we were actually speaking on the phone for about a week before we actually met. And I kept saying to my friends, AK, I was like, is he a nice guy? Like, I just wasn't interested in dating anybody at that time. And I was like, is he a nice guy? He was like, no, because he had my best interests at heart. And he was like, no, he's a really good guy, that he wouldn't introduce me to anybody that wasn't. So I was like, okay, like, what have I got to lose, kind of thing, And then that was pretty much it.
And when you eventually, I know you said you were speaking on the phone for a while, but when you eventually met him, what was the first thing that crossed your mind? Did you think, handsome?
No, I did. I was more like, oh, thank God, he looks good. Because I was like, I didn't see him. I think you've seen me before, but I didn't see him. So it was kind of like, oh, thank God that he's, a good looking guy. But, more importantly, I was captured by his personality first and foremost, because we did speak on the phone first before we actually met. But it was just a short while, we were speaking. So.
What about Daddy? What was your first impression when you met Kimberley?
I was like, she was a good looking girl. but like you said, yeah, so we've spoken on the phone, and for me, your personality really matters. So if I didn't think she was a good person by talking to her, and at the meeting when AK said, okay, come on, and you guys, let's meet up, I would have just cancelled. I would have cancelled. So so even before I met her, I think I was already half taken before I met her in person. But when I met her, I was like, that's such a beautiful woman.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Okay. Now, before
but she was speechless, though.
Okay, that's good. So you guys started dating, and then things progressed. Yeah. So when did you realize that, oh, this thing is more than this? This might actually be my future partner.
When we had our daughter, when we were in Aberdeen, I fell pregnant, and we had her in Aberdeen. So we had her before we got married. I think we got married when she was about 1.5. Okay. When we got married. So we've been married for, how many years we've been married now? Like 13 years? 13, 12, 13? 13? I don't know. we were just as bad as each other. We got married 2008. So, and she was born 2006. So it was when we had her, we were like, okay, this is definitely, but I still hadn't come to Nigeria. I still hadn't, I'd never really experienced that yet. So it was still kind of all dependent on how I would cope here as well. But we pretty much, we were ready to just give it a really hard go.
But prior to having Kaylee, we were serious, and we talked about it, but we actually broke up for a short while. And the reason we broke up was
because we were friends.
The question was, where would we move to? Because I wasn't prepared to stay back in the UK, and she at that time wasn't ready to come to Nigeria. So we had that discussion, and we were like, so if I'm not prepared to remain in the UK, you're not prepared to come to Nigeria, so we might as well just call it quits and remain friends. And but trying to remain friends obviously didn't work.
Yeah. So we had a pretty strong friendship. Like I would say we're friends first. But yeah, we broke up for about like 3 months, but it was just God just pulled us back together.
Okay, I need to ask a question. Before you guys dated, did you date anyone else outside of your race? Or was this your first time of you?
For me, it was the first.
I had dated, but I never had a boyfriend. So I dated a Nigerian guy, but it wasn't a boyfriend. So Dali was my first, partner, boyfriend at that time.
Okay. So I was going to say, what did your parents? But I guess by the time you had the child, your daughter, and so what was their reaction? And then you eventually got married. What was the reaction of your parents?
For my parents were cool. My mom, okay, so I'm Yoruba, obviously, but my mom, right from time, always knew I wouldn't marry a Yoruba person.
Okay, why was that? Why?
Because I've never dated a Yoruba person.
Okay.
So even prior to Kimberley, I never dated, and it wasn't that I purposely went out of my way not to date a Yoruba person. It just happened that I never So she always, so she'd always joke that, oh yeah, we know you're not going to date somebody from Yoruba. We're probably going to cross the river, like River Niger, River Benue for the confluence, or for your wedding, we'll probably cross the river. I don't think they thought it would be an ocean that they would cross. So my parents were cool. My father studied in the UK in the 50s and 60s, and they had been in an interracial relationship.
Okay.
So it wasn't. I didn't. For my own, there was no issues at all.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. It was not.
Okay.
Yeah, none from my side at all. It was just a case of, I love this man, I'm going to marry him, I'm moving to Nigeria, that's it. It was like, nobody had a say or had a choice, or that was what I was going to do. But nobody, like, my family love him, like they absolutely adore him. My gran has like the most soft spot for him. She's like, oh, always tell Dudley I love him. So my gran just adores him. All my uncles, aunties, everybody just loves him. So I've never had any issues, like no reservations, no comments, nothing. Like, we've just been very blessed in that sense that, from our families, we've always been supported in that regard. Yeah.
Okay, so apart from that, means the parents were okay, the siblings were okay, and the rest of the family. Fantastic. Yeah. Wow. That is really good. Yeah. So you now decided to make the move to Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Have you been to Nigeria before?
No. So the first time I came to Nigeria was 2007 when he was graduating from his bar. So I came, that was my first time. I was actually really, really ill. The doctor had advised me not to come because my white blood cells were like dangerously low, but I was like, I need to come. And I'm glad I did. But it just kind of come in, like, answered like a lot of questions about him as well, because there were certain things that he would do, and I'd be like, looking at him like, why are you saying sorry? I just coughed. You didn't do anything, so I'm like looking at him like a side eye, like, why are you saying sorry all the time? So all those little things that he does, it just answered a lot of questions. Yeah. And the thing is, like, he knows me so well. Like, he knows I'm not the kind of person to be told what to do. I'm the kind of person that needs to see for myself and learn for myself. Yeah. So I remember so vividly, like, when I was coming down from the plane, first time in Nigeria, so I didn't even know anything. Like, bear in mind, he told me nothing at all. So I was getting my luggage. He came into the luggage bit to help me with my luggage and help with Kaylee, because she was just a year old. And as we were walking through the doors to leave, he was like, oh, by the way, all my aunties and my mom is here. You need to kneel. And I'm like, what are you talking about, kneel? Like, I don't understand. Kneel, what are you talking about? And I was so confused. So, and then the minute I came out, they just rushed and gave me like the biggest cuddles, everything. There was like 3 aunties and his mom there and everything. So it was just, it's such a beautiful, warm welcoming, that, so his family have just been amazing from the start as well. But yeah, it was definitely like, an eye opener. However, I've always been one who really liked a challenge. Like, I am not satisfied unless I'm being challenged. Okay. And with Nigeria, it's just everything is a challenge, but it's something that I welcome as well. So once I visited, I was like, yeah, I could definitely live here. So yeah, 12 years now. We've been here 12 years, so long time.
So tell me, because I love that thing that you said about Nigerians are now sorry. What other cultural adjustment or did you have to make? Oh, actually, before that, let me ask Dale.
Yeah. What
are the things you had to do to make sure she was able to settle in Nigeria properly, Dale?
I wanted her to I didn't want to give her my version of Nigeria.
Okay.
I literally said, just come to Nigeria and see for yourself and make up your own mind. Okay. As we all know, the media in the Western world, there's a negative portrayal of Nigeria. I mean, I remember when we were dating, and she was asking me about Lagos, and I sat on the fence and like, look, go and check for yourself, you know, and just see, then come back and talk to me. And she came back and she was like, Lagos is not all that bad. We've got beautiful beaches and, you know, everything is fine. And, you know, that got me thinking, and I went online and I said, sweetheart, that's Lagos in Portugal. You need to Google Lagos in Nigeria. Yeah. So, but like she said, I didn't tell her anything. You know, I didn't want to scare her. That's one, to say, you know what, I'm not going to move down, because I was just so adamant that I didn't want to stay back in the UK. So I gave her an open mind. I think it was because when she came in, she landed in Abuja. So for the very first time. So the only thing I told her was that Abuja is quite different from Lagos.
Yeah.
Yes. So don't think Lagos is more crowded. So I think the culture shock for her was when we flew from Abuja to Lagos. That was a culture shock. The airports were different. The roads were different. There were just more people. Yeah. But apart from that, I didn't tell her anything. I just said, come and see.
But fun enough, though, I liked that first trip. I actually preferred Lagos to Abuja. Really? I really did prefer. Yeah, I did prefer it. You know, so because I've never gone back to Abuja since that first trip. I've never gone back. But yeah, I do prefer, like, I kind of like, you know, the craziness of Lagos is kind of like a drug. Like, you need it after a while, you miss it. You know, it's intense, but it's like kind of like a good intense. I don't know. It's strange to describe, though.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I just told her was what I explained to her. I said, look, if you marry a Nigerian, the way our culture is generally is we're family oriented. Yeah. So you marry into a Nigerian family, you're more or less marrying into the entire family. Yeah. Kimberley is very independent. She doesn't like people doing things for her. So that was a bit of a shock, like coming into, so like when she came in, say for instance, she wants to do something and people are coming to help her. That was a bit of an issue, and she was like, no, I can do this by myself. And I just had to explain to her that, look, we take care of each other. We don't have social security. Our family is a social security in Nigeria. So your aunts would help you, you know, if you had a problem, or if they come in without seeing anything, you know, they won't help you. Your neighbors see your kids outside. They want to, you know, they're looking out for each other. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Kimberley, somebody asked the question that, so did you learn how to kneel? So you know how to kneel now for...
Yeah, oh, definitely. That first, you know, I don't, you know, my daughter is half Nigerian. I can't shy away from that culture because, you know, as a mother to a daughter, she learns from me, you know, so I have to do it. So that first trip, like, you know, when he was like, oh, you have to kneel, you know, when we were in Abuja for like 4 days, I was analyzing like everybody, and I was like, okay, this one is going down to the floor, this one is bending down, this one, okay, when is she doing this, why is she... I was like completely analyzing them, like trying to figure out. And then the minute we came to Abuja was when we met some other close family members, and the first thing I'd done is I went to kneel, and they picked me up and they were like, no, it's fine. I was like, no, I want to do it. You know, so no, everything, I follow all the traditions, you know, because like I said, well, first of all, I respect his culture as much as he respects mine. And I have to do it because my daughter is watching everything I do. Absolutely. You know, so for her to understand it and her to do it, then I have to do it and respect it as well.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Okay, so tell us some of the other cultural adjustments that you had to make in fitting into Nigeria.
Well, the one, you know when we initially spoke about this, I said I felt like we've had it so easy, and we've really been talking about this quite a lot. And I think the reason why we've had it so easy is because we have a mutual respect and understanding of each other, and we have really good communication. So nothing has ever been an issue because we always talk about it and discuss it, you know, because even you know, like one major thing that we really had discussions over was discipline for our daughter, because he was brought up very differently to how I was brought up, and I don't believe in raising a hand to a child at all. So we really had to have a lot of discussions about that and understanding. You know, by the end of the day, we thank God we have like the most amazing, you know, 14-year-old daughter who's very, you know, courteous and, you know, understanding of herself and other people as well. So, but in terms of other than that, I think, you know, if I have a question, I ask, and he just gives me a non-biased, non-judgmental answer, and just also helps me figure it out as well. Which I really appreciate, because like I said before, he understands me and he knows I'm not the kind of person to be told what to do, but he guides me, and you know, and I always respect his opinion as well.
That's great. Fantastic. Well done. Good. Okay, so you know, I mean, whether you're married to someone from the same ethnic background or different tribes, like me, I always say to myself, I always say I'm mixed race, even though I'm not. Actually, my dad is Yoruba, my mom is Delta, so that's why I always tease my friends and say I'm mixed race. But any marriage has challenges. Are there any marriages that you think have been peculiar because you guys have an interracial or intercultural marriage? Is there anything you can think of?
Sorry, can you come again?
I said every marriage has challenges, right?
Yes.
But is there any challenge that you think has been, you guys have had because of you're in an interracial or intercultural marriage?
To be honest, I'm not sure if there's any, apart from the normal marital challenges, if there's anyone that we've had because we're interracial.
Yeah, I personally, I feel like we've never had any negativity towards us because we're in an interracial marriage. However, you know, you made a point, again, when we talked a lot about this over the past couple of weeks since we first spoke about you, and you know, you had mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, that is probably because we have lived majority of our marriage in Nigeria.
Okay. Yes. So probably yes. If we were probably in Scotland, for instance, there might have been maybe racial issues in a marriage. Well, we've not experienced anything, probably because we're
and I also think because we're very comfortable in ourselves and our marriage and our union and our family, we're also, and again, this might be me, he would correct me, I feel like my eyes are not open towards any negativity because I don't need to see it. I'm not looking for it, and I don't wish to see it. So that might also be, you know, another thing as well. But definitely, like, we don't spend long enough together in the UK to see anything. But definitely, I think the only thing is, like, you know, and just the only thing I had actually was when we were in Aberdeen. Some of your female friends, you know, they weren't happy with me dating you, but that was it. But
we have a chat.
So you think things would have been? Yeah, go on, Dale, go on.
No, I was just adding that again because of our respective families and how they've accepted us. So even when we travel, for instance, when I go to Scotland, like when my in-laws moved to a little village, when I came into town, I think everybody knew, and they used to tell them that, oh, your son-in-law is in town. But it was a good thing. Like I was like, no, but it wasn't. So no issues, nothing. You know, and she's here having the, you know, beautiful life here. You know, families accepted her. So apart from your usual marital challenges, is just nothing.
So, but you
else.
think if you guys were living in England or Scotland, you think things would have been a bit different?
I think it might have been.
It might have been.
I think it might have been. We can't comment for sure because we don't, but I think it might have been a little bit different. I don't think we would have been so comfortable and so accepted if we're more accepted in Nigeria than we are. I think we would have been. Yeah, I think so.
Because in Scotland we did experience. Remember when we were going to the shops when Kaylee was a baby and she was in a pram? People were coming to look, just to see. So they've looked at us. They know we're an interracial couple, and you could see they wanted to see, and they'd seen the buggy, and they knew, okay, we had a baby, and you could see they wanted to see probably what
the baby looks like.
What the baby looks like. So that was the only thing. So there was no overt racism. Apart from just curiosity, trying to see what color she is.
Every shade of beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. I read somewhere that following on from George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and all of that, that a lot of couples in interracial marriages were now having to have conversations about racism, especially with their children. Have you guys had that conversation with your daughter, or do you
always we've always been very open with her, and always just kind of prepared her mind for anything that she will meet. So we've always been, because in her school she was a minority. Here she was a minority, so we always had to, because our friends here, our Nigerian friends here, always said, like, always called her white, which she's a beautiful shade of brown. She's definitely not like, she's a mixture of the both of us, but she's definitely not white, but they would call her white. And so we had to, talk to her about that, that you're beautiful. If anybody says any negativity about you, that, there's a reflection of them, so it was always consistent. Now she went to the UK last year. I took her last year to finish her secondary school. And again, we had to have those conversations because, again, she's a minority, but just on the flip side. But more importantly, he had to have a private conversation with her as well, because talking to her about possible racism she will feel, it has a different voice coming from him, because as a mother I can guide her, but it has a different voice coming from her dad. So we both had to have those conversations and meet with her and talk to her. But she's, we asked her this question last week. She was talking about being the minority in her school just last week, and and I said to her, I says, what do you see yourself as? She was like, well, I'm mixed race, she says, but I 100% identify as Nigerian, and I was so proud of that. I was so proud, because when we first moved here, she was I kind of like dug my heels in a little, because everything, I joined Niger Wives and everything was like, oh, this is what you have to do, and everybody was like, oh, this is what you have to do, and it wasn't my country, and I didn't have anything that was my own because I was just fresh here. I didn't have friends, so I kind of dug my heels in a little bit with my culture, my Scottish side. And then when Kayla was about 3 or something, she turned around and made a comment about these Nigerians, and I turned around to her and I was like, darling, you are Nigerian. So I just then went like flipped the switch and went the other side, like completely into like the Nigerian side. And for her to say that she identifies, she's a proud Nigerian. For her to say that is, for me, that was just the most proudest moment I've had as a parent. Wow. So we're really blessed, because she's very, very comfortable with the skin that she's in. She's completely 100% strong in her identity. And she's, she had the upbringing of what she had. She had 13 years in Nigeria, and having that strong foundation and culture that Nigeria has, which is now instilled on her as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done to both of you. That is absolutely amazing. Now, Danny, please, can you tell us, because there might be people because one of the reasons why I wanted to do this was because I just feel that sometimes people are stuck in what they think other people might say in terms of marrying outside their race. But I wanted to feature you guys to show that it can work if you want it to work. But one of the other things, what I would love you to just share with us is some of the conversations you had with your daughter. Just let us know, what are some of the things you had to say to her?
Yeah, so Kaylee's my daughter is for age. She's very socially aware.
Okay.
So she so with the Black Lives Matter, with the George Floyd. So she knew, she understood what was going on. So when she was going to the UK, I sat her down, and I was very, very honest with her that people might not like you because of the color of your skin, and that's a fact, and that's something you would probably experience, and you probably deal with. But I told her, so I explained to her that it was more out of ignorance. It's more out of ignorance. They don't understand you. They don't know you. And just I was trying to tell her to be level-headed and not get annoyed and not react angrily or negatively to it. Walk away if it's a trouble. Go to the school authorities. So just it was just to instill like a virtue of patience in her and understanding, and more importantly, education. Educate them. Educate them, which my daughter does a lot. So people so when she got into school there, she told us that one or two people had said some things, and she actually sat them down. Even while she was here in Nigeria, she had sat them down and educated them on why we're all equal. I mean, underneath her skin, we all bleed the same red.
Even they were asked to do a project in the school, and I can't remember, for the love of me, I can't remember what it was, but she came in with this angle from a Nigerian perspective, and the teacher was just amazed. She was like, and even in parents' evening, she was like, we're so thankful with this different perspective that your daughter is bringing, because she's very vocal, she's very smart, very she's a bookworm, she loves books, so, but it's a lot to do with just us being a positive influence on her, and making sure that her mentality was always at the top of the priority, and also her loving herself as well, and being able to share her feelings and emotions, without any reaction from us, just understanding and listening from us. And I feel like we've done a good job. We've done a good job. We're very blessed.
Seriously,
we're very blessed.
In fact, one of the questions I was going to ask earlier on was that you guys must have taken intentional steps with regards to parenting Kaylee. Did you guys have that conversation from the beginning? That
I think we just gelled. I think we just gelled together. Like, we've never sat down and said, okay, this is how we're going to do it. We just, our communication is open. We're always, we're always talking about different perspectives, and I'll say, what do you think of this? And he'll give me his perspective, and we'll talk. And we always respect each other's opinions and always come to middle ground. But so when it came to parenting Kaylee, it was we just gelled together, and understood each other and respected it as well. We would never counteract what each other was doing. If we didn't agree with what each other was doing, we'd kind of have a side chat like, look, maybe you should have handled this a bit differently, and then we'll be like, okay, no problem, we'll correct it. But that was like a couple of times. But yeah, we just kind of like just gelled together, like, I don't know.
I love that open communication and respect.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. So okay, guys, if you've got questions for them, please put it in the question box, please.
Can I quickly say something? I was so worried about coming to this because of any like negative response. But I just want to say thank you to everybody. I'm seeing all the messages of love and support, and I'm really humbled. So thank you so much for everybody for their love and
no, you guys you're amazing. Seriously, you really
thank
are.
you.
You are. Well done. Okay, there's a question for you. How has Kimberley coped with the Nigerian social scene and the way we do engagements, wedding parties?
Oh, she loves it.
No. Okay, no, wait. No, I do like it. I do like it, but only for a short period of time. I can only go for a couple hours. And all of this, like, you know, I only wore a ghillie for the first time when his sister was getting married. So that was like a good 7 years after being here. I refused to wear a ghillie, and then I eventually wore one, and I was like, okay, this really hurts, but I do look cute in it. Like,
was that the picture? Is that the picture on your WhatsApp?
Yes, that's one of them. That was like my second time wearing it. Yeah, okay. That's
the one we have. Beautiful, okay. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. But all of this, like, I'm not like, you know, if you know me, I don't do jewelry. I don't wear jewelry. I'm not like a big makeup. Like, I wear subtle makeup. You know, I'm not a flashy person. You know, so getting all this dolled up to the night, I wasn't too. That would kind of put me off a little bit. But, you know, you just kind of like learn to embrace it, but then also find your comfort level as well. Yeah. But I do like the weddings, but only for a couple hours, like like 5 hours.
But Kimberley has she's, if I'm going to use a slang, Kimberley has blended into Lagos. It's so, like, I joke now that in Lagos I'm more known as Kimberley's husband than so people more or less associate me with her. But more importantly, she's blended to the extent that I get information out of her. So what's happening? I ask her. Even my mom would call and say, "Oh, Kimberley, I want to buy some. So, where can I go?" And she will now tell my mom.
I would say, go here, but it's this price. But if you go somewhere else, it's a little bit cheaper.
So she's like our source. She's now a source of information for things in Lagos.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
Yeah. So she's.
Kimberley, do you go to the market?
Yes, I do. Well, not because I'm so busy with work now. I don't. But I used to go to Balogun Market. I used to go to Balogun Market. I actually took my mom there once. That was like, she nearly killed us. She was just like, you know, literally like, you know, ooh, look at this, look at all the colors, and she kept nearly getting knocked down. And I was like, oh my God, never again. And she was like, yeah, but we didn't die, so it's good. But no, I do. I used to go to the markets, not so much now, but I used to go.
Yeah, but you have your Ep8 customer, right? But
yeah. No, I go to Ep8. If it's something specific I need to buy and I know what I need to buy, I go to Ep8.
And she has her customers in the Mushin market as well?
Yeah, I have my customers and my suppliers in Mushin market and the Ep8 market. Even the Ep8 one is going, anything this week, madam? I'm like, no, I'm good.
So do you speak Yoruba now?
I do. I do a little bit. I know enough to get me by. But none of it was. He never taught me anything.
Moving on to screen.
Yeah, he never taught me anything. It was always like work colleagues that taught me what I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so please, because someone said they can pick out a little bit of accent. So say something in Yoruba, just anything for us.
Okay, Bawani.
Bawani, okay.
The more obvious one. Yeah.
Okay. She Alafia Loa. Do you understand that?
I know. I've heard it before, but I don't know.
Yeah. Are you well?
Okay. Yeah. His mom says that too. Yeah.
But it's interesting, like someone has said, the pronunciation, even the way you said Ep8, you know, Mushi and all of that, the pronunciation is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I've been here 12 years, so if I don't know how to pronounce some of the names, I'm in trouble. You know, so.
but the funny thing is, excuse me, her accent. So if she goes back to Scotland for holidays, and she comes back home, her Scottish accent is strong. So usually I just wait like a week or two Get
And
back
then
to
she's
normal.
back.
Yeah, she's back to normal.
Yeah, it also depends who I'm speaking to, because sometimes even like, you know, if I'm speaking to certain people, like, you know, artisans in the school, then I can switch it on a little bit more. And like they know I speak a little bit Yoruba, so you know, they'll greet me and everything in Yoruba. So, and then obviously I say like well done, ikusheo, and all that stuff. So, you know, those are workers have been working with me for a long time, but they know and understand.
Okay, let's see, there's a question. What was the hardest aspect of moving to Nigeria, and what did you like the most?
What did I like the most?
The hardest aspect first.
What's the hardest aspect?
The lights issue.
No, the lights issue
was a shock.
It was
I think it was a shock to Kaylee. What?
Yeah, well, everybody was saying like the light, the light and the you know, having constant water issues as well. But it was probably initially the heat. Like I was dying when I first moved here. Yeah. Like, you know, Scotland is cold. Even in summer, Scotland is cold. So I think initially it was the heat, and then like not having light, and then being in that heat. That was like the first year. That was like the hardest thing. But now I'm like, I go home and I'm like wearing layers upon layers upon layers because I'm so cold. And you know, so I've climatized.
it's ironic. It's ironic now when we're talking to Kaylee and we're asking her, "Oh, what do you miss the most from Lagos?" You know, we're expecting her to say, "I miss you, mom, dad. I miss you." She's like, "Nah."
She misses the heat.
The heat.
The heat and the cool.
Yeah. So she's like, "I miss the heat." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine she missed Nigeria, especially when, was it a few weeks ago when it snowed?
Yeah. That was her first time. That was her first time experiencing snow. And she's 14 and a half years old. It was her first time experiencing snow. Because she was too young. She was like 1 or 2.
So she couldn't remember.
So she couldn't remember. But she was like, you know, she was a big kid. She took her little cousins on the sleigh and, you know, went down hills and she had fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think you have another question. Okay. No, I think you've answered that. Someone was asking, how are you coping with the heat? But you've already answered that. Okay, so tell me, is there anything, both of you, you've been married now for almost 13 years or so, you said?
Yeah, we've been together 16, but married 13.
We've been together 16, we're married 13.
13 years, okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys would have done differently in your marriage? In terms of, this is as in interracial, intercultural marriage? Anything?
I would say no.
No.
Okay. That's fantastic.
No. I would say probably more in the harder times, you know, because every marriage goes through, you know, their trialing times, and I think during that time our communication would have been better, or could have been better, particularly more from my end. But that's it, you know.
That's like any other marriage anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I would have stayed. Maybe I would have stayed. Allowed Kaylee to do more than maybe her first foundational years in the UK. Maybe, I'm not too sure. I'm not too.
No.
Sure.
But
no, because she was with me. She's always been with me because I've been early years educator for 14 years, so she's always been with me in nursery. So.
Well, someone said, I love how they answer at the same time or say similar things.
I just read that. Yeah, thank you.
Do you eat any, of course I'm sure she does, do you eat any Nigerian food like amala, Kimberley?
No, so I'm not a huge fan of like the soups and the mala, and you know, so there's certain things I like the beans that we use for moi moi. Like I really love those beans, like akara, moi moi. You know, those beans I really love. Like I could eat akara for days, but just because it's fried, I can't. But yeah,
she loves that moi moi.
Yeah, I do love my moi moi, and then because I don't take fish, so I can't really buy it anywhere because everybody puts crayfish in it. So like anytime my mother-in-law makes it, she makes like a batch for me with no fish. So she always like give me like about 10 pieces of moi moi here, Kimberly.
So what's Dale's favorite dish that you make for him?
I make, to be perfectly honest though, like I make mostly my own food at home. Yes, peppers, like I love peppered soup. I make a very good pepper soup though. But I make most of my own food at home because, you know, I remember one time, like I really, like he's very easygoing, like, you know, not one of these men that like, oh, I want freshly pounded jam at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's not like that. He'll eat anything, you know, he'll eat anything that he's given. So I'm very blessed that, you know, doesn't matter what it is. But what I learned is, because I was like, you know, there was a period where I was like, no, I really want to learn to make your food. So I made you Ep8. Yeah, I made him Ep8 before, and like I don't like the palm oil, so I couldn't taste it. But he said it was really, really good. But what I noticed is he's very judgmental when it comes to Nigerian food, though. Like my food, he doesn't say anything. But when it comes to Nigerian food, he'd be like, "There's too much salt. There's not enough pepper. There's not enough this." I was like, so I kind of just gave up because it takes more effort, and he'd be like, you know, compliment on what it should taste like instead of what it does taste like. So yeah, I kind of stopped, but yeah, he's no, he's very easygoing. Yeah, I think the pepper soup I make is really good though. That's a good pepper soup.
I'm not a fussy eater, so anything I come home, anything that's
on the table is good.
Dale, do you cook?
Do I cook?
Yeah.
I can fry eggs, and I can fry plantain, and I can boil rice.
Okay.
And you can make cereal.
And I can make cereal.
No, he doesn't cook at all.
I don't
at all.
I don't
know.
No, okay. I have to.
Okay, I think there's another question.
I can cook, but I don't cook.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes. Apparently, you didn't give us part 2 of the question. What is it you love most about being in Nigeria?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Do you know? I have to say, it's the people. You know, there's so many beautiful things. You know, it's a very like, you know, artistic. You know, there's theater. There's so many things to do, but it's the people. You know, they've always been very welcoming. You know, if they know that I respect their culture, I adopt their culture, you know, they have even more respect. And, you know, you really have to admire that their get up and go attitude. You know, if you compare the poverty here to the poverty in the UK, there's no comparison. You know, whereas the poverty in the UK is complaining, you know, about not getting this, not getting that. Whereas the person in poverty in Nigeria is making a name for themselves. They're going out. But you know what? They're doing it with a smile on their face. Yeah. You know, and they still love life. And that's the difference. Like, people generally are, you know, they're very hardworking, and you have to respect that. And people they'll never wait for someone to do something for them. They'll go out and do it themselves. You know, so that's probably the biggest thing. And that's what's made here being easier is the network as well, and the support. You know, because it's difficult being in a country you don't have, you know, although his family are my family, but initially you don't have your family. You know, you don't have your customs, you don't have the things that you're used to, you know, you don't have the, you know, the little foods. And coming here is very hard. But when you have people that are so welcoming and love you and appreciate you for being you, you know, it's a whole different, you know, meaning to helping you to settle.
Darling, let me ask, is there anything from Kimberley's culture, Scottish culture, that you have learned and you've taken on board? Anything?
No. Well, that I've learned.
He's worn a kilt before.
Yeah, I've worn a kilt.
He's worn a kilt.
I've worn a kilt, and I looked good in it.
You looked good. Well, you looked really good in the kilt.
Not in Nigeria, though.
No.
In Scotland.
In Scotland.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, nothing.
He doesn't like haggis.
The food, yeah. So which is haggis, for instance.
You don't like
it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's really nothing. Yeah. So the history of Scotland.
Okay.
Which, I mean, so I've read books about it. And,
yeah, he's the one telling me half the stuff now.
So I'm even educated, and it's because it's somewhat similar to Nigeria in terms of, because culturally, the Scottish history is very rich culturally. You know, you have the different clans and things like that. So yeah, that I'm into, but nothing else really. Yeah, the only culture of Scotland which I know about, but which I'm not into, is the drinking.
Okay, thank you very much.
So.
Okay, let me see if there's another question. Okay, no, I think that's it. Okay, I was going to ask, because again, there might be people who are considering getting into interracial marriage or relationship. What advice would you give to them? For anyone that might be considering?
I would say going with an open mind.
That would have been the first thing I would say as well.
Going with an open mind.
Yeah.
It's
an understanding.
Yeah, an understanding. And yeah.
Yeah, I've so for me, I have like obviously I'm a member of Niger Wives Here, which is a group of foreign women married to Nigerian men, and there's so many of us and we support each other. And then I also see the other side of some of my Scottish friends are maybe married to a Nigerian, and I find my friends here are just the same as me. Like, we adopt, we respect the culture, our kids are here, we love it, we immerse ourselves in it. But I noticed that the ones in Scotland they have no interest in knowing that side of their husband. And it makes me sad, because I never truly learned the person he is until I came here. He was Dali, we were together, but I never really understood him and got to know him until I came here. You need to know your partner's background. You need to know their roots. You need to know their culture. So yes, I would agree with him. Open mind, communication, but you need to know where they come from. Especially when in an interracial relationship.
Charlie, were you going to say something more?
No. I was just going to back up 110%. Like, I just understand, respect your spouse's culture.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much. Let's see. There's another question. Yes. Have you ever experienced racism in Nigeria?
Have you?
No.
That's great. No. I think Nigerians are more...
We're hospitable and we're accommodating. Yes. Yeah. My in-laws have been here like how many times?
Like 5 times.
Like 5 times, and they absolutely love it. Like,
they love it.
Absolutely, yeah.
They love it, but they can only stay for 2 weeks. They can't stay longer than 2 weeks.
Why is that? Is that the heat or why? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, why is that? Is it because of the heat? Why can't they stay longer than 2 weeks?
No, because it's too intense for them. It's too intense.
Oh, okay.
They're not used to it. Yeah, that's just it. No, they love the heat, but it's just, it's very, they're older, they're used to like a relaxed, calming lifestyle. So it's too much for them.
But they love the culture.
They love the culture, yeah. They love the culture. But I think Lagos was just too busy. Let me say that.
Yeah. Someone said, I think Kimberley coming to Nigeria has cemented their marriage even more. Yeah, that's true. I believe that.
Yes.
Wow. Definitely. Yeah. I agree.
Guys, do you have any more questions for Kimberley and Dalet before we go? But this has been really awesome. This has been good. Really, really good. And
thank you for
Kimberley
having
and Dalet, if you have any last word for us, anything you want us to know about your marriage, relationships, or anything. Last word for us, please.
Yeah. I just again want to say thank you for all the love and the comments. We really appreciate it. I was very nervous about doing this, but you know, you've eased my fear. So thank you so much. The only thing I'll say is, you know, like we say, just reiterate what we say, just have, you know, compassion and understanding, and communication is key. But also, you know, express that to your children. Keep an open mind, and also keep their mental health at the top priority for your children. You know, they have to, oh, mommy's there.
Oh, yes, I can see she's here.
You know, they need to know where they come from, and they need to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Be very confident in the person that they are, you know, because you hear of so many stories of mixed race children not knowing where they belong. So it's just making sure that your child firmly knows where they belong as well. And, you know, and I thank God every day for the upbringing she had in Nigeria, you know, because of the culture, because of the respect, you know, because of everything. That was probably the most important thing for me as well. So, yep, understanding and communication is key.
Thank you so much, Kimberley. Daniel, any last word?
No, it's just everything she said. I mean, it's just for intending couples and or intending people intending to go into an interracial couple. It's just love. Just love each other. I mean, once you have love, nothing else matters.
And
love,
friendship,
understanding each other, and whatever challenges are there, and you can face them and you can surmount them.
Yeah. And friendship is key. You have to be friends with your partner.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be friends. And we're like, we play around all the time, like, you know, irritating each other. But you have to be friends as well. That's key.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious that you guys are friends, and that's so important.
Yeah.
It's really obvious that, and you guys, you've got a connection, even the way you able to answer the questions and pick up from each other. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I love what you said, love wins. Once you've got love, then every other thing can. There was a question, and the question was, would you guys ever consider coming back to live in England?
Would we?
I
don't know.
No.
We can.
You never know where the future holds. You never know where the future holds.
But definitely, we're going to have some form of base there.
Yeah.
But whether it's going to be permanent, we're not sure yet.
It's probably not going to be permanent.
Probably not going to be.
But we will have a base there eventually because of Kaylee.
Because of Kaylee.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, one question I was going to ask. Now, your daughter's name, in choosing her name, well, I'm sure she has a Yoruba name, but why did you decide to call her English name instead of a Yoruba name? Was there any?
No, not really. So she's actually Kaylee Louise, which is a combination of my mom and my sister's name. My sister's Haley Ann, my mom is Alice Louise, and then K for Kimberley. And then her Nigerian name is Oluwatoyin. But there was no particular reason why we picked.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just kind of happened. Like, we never had that discussion. Yeah.
Well, but growing up, Kaylee, if you had asked her name between when she was 3 and 7, she would give you the full name. Kaylee Louise Oluwatoyin Ajayi-Bembe. She was always, but I wasn't fussed about the name. She was just too beautiful. I didn't care. You could call her whatever she wanted to call. So, yeah.
You know, I can tell, I can see why your marriage will work, because you both seem to be very easygoing people. I mean, I could be bothered whether she's called.
He's the chilled, relaxed one. I'm probably the more the one, but he chills me though. He does chill me.
But you complement each other.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And everyone has said you guys have inspired them. And thank you for agreeing to do this. I know Kimberly was a bit, I'm not sure. But you can tell that it's more relaxing now.
It is. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. And hopefully someone has taken something away, or, you know, in a positive, you know, change or something in their life. That's the most important thing as well.
I really do hope so. I really do hope so. And we can, anyone that wants to get into an interracial or intercultural relationship, it can work.
Oh, definitely.
You've seen
definitely, 100%.
So yeah.
The number of interracial couples in Nigeria is
quite a lot.
It's quite a lot. More than people.
In
quite
fact,
a number of them.
I did check online the statistics in England. It said that in the 2011 census, it said in the UK, 1 in 10 people, which is 9% or 2.3 million, were in interracial relationships or marriage. That's in the UK. In America, it's 15.1% people are in interracial relationships. So yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
I saw a question, and the question was, what do you do, Kimberly? And what do you do, Dale? I'm not sure you guys, when you introduced yourselves, I'm not sure you said.
Okay.
No, we didn't do that. So I am the school director of the Nurturing Tree. It's a nursery school in Lekki Phase 1. We do the British curriculum. We have children from 1 to 5 years old, so you can check us out.
Okay.
I'm a lawyer. I run my own law practice here in Lagos. It's OAB Barristers and Solicitors.
Okay. And you guys can follow Kimberly. I'm not sure that I hear you're not on the internet.
He doesn't
No,
have
I don't do social media. So
he doesn't do social media.
You know, but you guys can follow Kimberly. And her handle is Kimberly. Give us again. It's Kimberly.
I think I just changed it. I think it's Kimber's Ajayi-Bembe. Kimber's Ajayi-Bembe, I think it is.
Okay. Bisola, can you put it up for us, please? So that anyone that wants to follow her can do that.
My Instagram is really boring though. It's just pictures of landscape and my cat and my daughter, to be honest.
Yes, it's Kimber, KIMBER Ajayi-B. Yeah. That's it.
Kimber's Ajayi-Bembe.
That's
Thank you.
Right. Okay. So thank you, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you.
And guys, thank you for joining us today. Really, really do appreciate every single one of you. And we'll see you. We're actually on next week. With your cafe is due for maintenance, so we won't be on next week. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Love you lots. Bye bye. See ya.